Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today, we're going to be playing with
YouCompose. You! Or maybe the AI. Who knows? We'll check in with Aimée.
But first, we're going to kick off with a brand new track from friend of the channel, talented artist, Thomas Gillane. This is Firm Brûlée. Thomas Gillane from Brûlée. Hello, welcome to the show. Awesome stuff. Thomas is making music again. That's wonderful stuff. We love Thomas Gillane. There's a link pinned up the top if you would like to subscribe to his channel, and a Song Whip link if you would like to go and listen to his music or purchase it or do whatever you would like with it. Yes, indeed. He's a great artist, and it's good to see him making music again. And who am I? I'm Jade. This is How to App on iOS. Every day we take a look at apps and music creation and video stuff and all stuff to do with iOS and sometimes Mac, and interviews with great people and mental health and well-being and live performances. And sometimes, if you become a Warrior for as little as $1 a month, In fact, it probably will be next week. I think you get access to the next quiz show, which is happening. I almost have all the questions, so we're doing another quiz, but this time it's not about this music community. It's about music in general. So all music. So hopefully if you're a warrior, you'll get to join the quiz. Thomas Christ won the first quiz, of course, but who knows? He will be challenged this time around. Let's say hello to you all here in the chat as usual. Leela's here, banging the links in as usual. And hello, Leela. Hello, Andy. What's going on? Thomas Christ. Jim Shannon on sounds. The Falcrow is here. Hi, Richard. Gregory O'Sullivan. Who else? Timothy is here. I'm having trouble wanting to spend money on Nembrini iOS when I have a Mac now. What's your take? Ooh, I don't know. I'm a fan of Rhino, but then I'm a metalhead, so there's that. I guess, pick the Nembrini things that work for you. With all of them, you don't need everything. It's interesting because I just got a new app last night, which has just been released from IK Multimedia, and it's sick, but it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I don't know who can afford it. It's a lot of money, but it's for iOS and it's sick. It is off the wall. It is so off this planet. Yeah, I agree with Mars. I think with Nembrini, there's only like a few. I only really have a handful of them. I think I only have probably about 7 Nembrini apps, and most of them are free ones. Yeah. So there's that. I hope that kind of answered. I mean, I think the thing to do, honestly, is just shop around. Watch as much as you can on all of YouTube. There's so many videos on them. And make an informed decision by that way, by the thing there's so many, that's how I buy things. I spend a lot of time watching videos and putting things in the basket that I'm going to buy on eBay, and it sits in the basket for 3 weeks, and I go to buy it, and then I don't buy it, then I go to buy it, then and then I finally buy it. And by the time I get it, I know so much about the thing, I can just start using it. So there's that. Hello, Mars Capone. Hello, Auntie G. Auntie G's got music dropping really soon. Hey, Sai, feel free to put a link in for your new merchandise in the chat. Sai's got some new merch, and he can jump. Oh, it's up to you, Sai. You can save it till the show on the weekend if you want. But Sai's new merch is fucking hilarious. It's really cool. A Friday, Auntie G, is your release. Awesome. So make sure you sub to Auntie G to check out a new track. I'll be playing it next week on the show. So she'll be premiering it. I'll play it at the start of one of the shows next week. As always. And I won't make you sit through 6 hours of music to see a song. There's already enough of those shows. Boom. Boom. Who else is here that I've missed? John Frank Songs, hello to you. I miss you at the top of the chain. I think I got all of you. I think I've said hello to you all. I said hi to Cy Effin. It's always effing good to see Cy. And if you're lurking as well too, that's okay. You don't need to say hello. You don't need to say hello. It's not a necessity. You're not going to get punished for not saying hello. And you might be just watching and chilling with a cup of tea or a beer or picking your face full of stuff that you shouldn't be eating, but it tastes good. Kick back. It can get a little bit overbearing with all the hellos and all that stuff, So it's good we have our lurkers. I'm going to make sure I say hi to the lurkers every day because you're just important, Brad. Awesome stuff. All right, what's going on today? Let's look at some price drops, and we're looking at this crazy AI app today. So strap yourselves in. It's going to be a little bit of a long one. There's a reason why it's going to be long. It's because this app is incredibly deep, and I'm going to try and go as deep as I can and as slow as I can, right? Because if I go too fast, I don't want to lose people with it because there's a lot going on in this app. B, we have a premiere happening directly after the show, which I will dump you all over to. And it is the new release of Night Train 1988's song he did with me. And he's done a radio edit version of it where he's sliced about 3 minutes off the song and done a wonderful radio edit version, because the original song, This Is Who I Am, was 7 minutes long. So he's chopped it down to this wonderful 4-minute version, and I'm sure you're going to love it. And he's chopped up a video clip, and it starts with this amazing a cappella. You're going to love it. So we'll be doing a dump over to that, and then we've got Thomas Christ with You Rock coming up. So a full evening, afternoon, morning of entertainment for you all. Hello, Mr. Smith, my friend. Good to see you. All right, shall we have a look over here and see? Because we're in the month of Black Friday. And who knew that 4 years ago we would be in this day and age where Black Friday starts around the 7th of November and goes all the way up till the actual Black Friday day, because there's so many apps on sale. Crystalline. It's on by Baby Audio. It's on sale, $10 off. There's so many apps. It's ridiculous. Synthmaster 2, ludicrous price, $10 from $24. Ludicrous. Synthmaster 2 is one of those apps. If you're a synth player and you don't have Synthmaster 2, you're bonkers. You're bonkers. It is the ultimate synth app. It is just, there's nothing you can't do on it except maybe make toast. But you can't do that with any app, so that's all right. Patterning 2, drum machine, flip sampler, ID700. I know a lot of people have been talking about ID700 being on sale because it, again, is another really stellar app. That's on sale. Quanta, Filter Station, Other Desert Cities, Continua. I mean, there's so many good apps on sale. Cubasis is on sale. Hello, Tremor Bear. Over the page, there's just a lot of apps on sale. Blease have their sale on. The last 2 apps we've looked at the last couple of days, yesterday's Splat to Clat and Blease's Megalith, they're on sale. So if you want to get those, they're on sale too. Pure Piano, Ravenscroft, there's so many apps on sale at the moment. Now, if you don't have this, what we're looking at here, you can always get the link from the description, and I'll show you something really cool which you may not have known about for this app, right? So I encourage you, if you do have this and you've gone to the link in the description and got app sliced and saved it, and hey, what you do is you click here and you save it to your favorites, and then you can just go here each day, find the link and click it, and that link that I've provided will only show you music apps. But here's something cool. If you've created an account, which is free, you can do things like this. You can search for something like Scalar 2, because Scalar is a free download, right? But it has in-app purchases, and I want to be notified when an in-app purchase goes on sale. So this is how you do that. Click on Scalar 2 and look at this little section here. It says, email me whenever an in-app purchase for this app goes on sale. How good is that? Because Scalar 2 is on sale at the moment. From the I think it's $19.99, it's actually down to $14. So, the in-app purchases don't show up here. But the in-app purchase for Scalar, I know for a fact, is on sale at the moment. So if there's any apps out there that you're wanting to get an in-app purchase, create a free account, find the app, and hit this little email thing, and you'll get an email letting you know when the in-app purchases are on sale, because sometimes we miss out on those, and we want to save as much money as we possibly can. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Good stuff. All right, what are we looking at today? We're looking at this. This is called YouCompose. Hi, fam. What's going on? Now, I don't know how I stumbled across this app. It was somehow, it was watching something that wasn't even iOS related. And I found this app and was like, really? There's a symphonic orchestral AI app out there that I don't know about? And then I looked deeper into it and found out this thing's been out for like 9 years. But when it first came out, it didn't have the AI stuff. it was just like this little composing thing. It was really scaled down to what it is now. So I looked into it and read as much about it as I could. I went to the developer's YouTube channel, watched a bunch of videos. It was like, hang on a minute, this is right up my alley. So I actually paid for this, so I purchased this because I couldn't wait to get some codes. So and then I got some codes for patrons. So if you're a patron, we got some codes for this weekend. You've had it for a long time? Didn't use it for a long time? Yeah, well, and just recently it's had some updates to its AI. So, and the price there you can see, it's only $6.99. And when you see what it can do, it's pretty impressive stuff. It is not AUV3. Let's get that out the door straight away. I know there's going to be people banging their hands on the table, murdering their parents, screaming at the wind. Where's my... But there's heaps you can do with it, right? You can export a lot of this stuff. You're going to see there's a lot you can do with this. Who knows? It may go AUV3 in the future. Who knows? But the good news is the developer is continuously updating it. It's alive. It's not a dead app. I'm not doing this show on it and it's just going to disappear. It works on iOS 16, so that's good. The developer's really into it. When we spoke, he's really into his app and really, loves it. So, good. I'm glad. All right. So, shall we have a play around with it? Because it's fun. And that's the most important thing. When I got this, I started using it on my old iPad Pro while I was laying in bed. And I'll tell you what, I just had so much fun watching the AI create these huge 23-piece orchestral movements, and thinking, God, this is much better than the movements I have in the morning. Anyway, let's open it up and see what it's all about. So the opening screen you will get here is your compositions page where all your compositions lie. So, and you get a whole bunch of demo things. Like you can see here, we've got the Star Spangled Banner. You've got a couple of pieces here. God Save the Queen's up here as well. Happy birthday to you. So we can open up one of these just to kick off. We'll do that. It's nice and clean interface to begin with. We've got a little plus symbol there. Obviously, that is to create a new project. We have a maintenance button over here, where if you click on that, you'll notice everything starts wobbling. We've got the wobbling, which means this is where you can delete stuff. So all you need to do is click on any of these, and a little cross will come saying you can delete this. Hit done. We're good to go. All right, so that's your maintenance. That just gets things wobbling around. We've got a little I button here. And this is where you get to read the manual. And I suggest you do. 114 pages. I got to about page 50 last night, I think. And I started to get a bit brain rot, if you know what I mean. And I had to put it down because there's just too much. Let me be honest, guys. There's no way in even a 2-hour show I could explain everything that's in here. There's a lot going on with this app. It's best you just play with it, yeah? So look at all. It's a big manual. It's a big manual. But I'm going to quickly touch on this because I think this is interesting at the end. Let's go down here. Aimée and copyrights. Now, hello, Joe. Now, the AI is named Aimée in this. That is her name. She's got a name, so, you don't have to, ask her out. You know her name. You've already virtually bought her coffee. Don't sleep with her. Anyway, so recently it says here, the US Copyright Office ruled that an AI, artificial intelligence, cannot claim copyrights itself. So there's a whole bunch of information here about what's been going on in the music sphere around copyright and AI. So it's an interesting read to go around here. But what the creator of Aimée, Woot, is that how you say his name? He has copyright of Aimée, but can he have copyright on the music that is composed by Aimée? After all, there are lots of hours of programming of Aimée, and as far as we know, he is human. Legally, this has not been established unambiguously because there is no case law yet. But there is good news for users of YouCompose and Aimée. The author and owner of Aimée will not claim any copyrights on any music you make here. So there's the breakdown of it here. But we're in murky waters here. This is all new territory. I've already done shows making music with AI. We've already got things that we're making images with AI, and there's already like a lot of photo websites that are rejecting photos because they're made in AI. So things are moving, but they're not moving as fast as the AI is. It's definitely not going to murder us all, so I think we're good. Especially this AI. Aimée's not going to murder us. She's too busy creating classical music to soothe our soul. Yeah? So, yeah. It's an interesting read. But long story short, there's a manual, and that can be found in the little I section up here. Just underneath there, we have these three little buttons. So this is your compositions, and then you have this little MIDI section because you can import your own MIDI files in here. I haven't done this yet, and there's only so much I can fit into the show, but you can import MIDI files in here, and maybe we'll try doing it. And then you've got a deleted files button. So anything that you do delete by accident goes into this little thing here, so you'll be able to get it back if you delete it by accident. Okay, there you go. So there's that. Here's our compositions page. Oh, you've got a little section here where you can decide by date that the composition was made or by name. Yeah, so usual kind of search stuff. And you've got a little search thing up here, so you can type in anything with W. You're going to bring up your W files here. So you've got a little search section. But you're all here to find out what this thing can do. So let's hit the big plus. Oh, we'll open something first. We'll open this thing here. And when you click on one of these files, you'll notice you get these four little icons roll up next to it. And they're pretty self-explanatory, icons that you've seen before. Copy, so duplicate some information. And when you click on the information, this is really, really deep, yeah? You get full breakdowns of the sections, the parts, the instruments. Let's zoom in on it so you can see it a little bit better. The part range, so what range it's in, the MIDI channel output, cello, basses. So you've got these sections across the top here. You can go into the individual parts, the movement, the entire composition. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this, yeah? A lot of stuff. And you can get all this turned into a PDF if you need all this information. Really lovely. Okay, so there's that little I section. Plus, you have this little speaker. And if I click on that, you get a preview of the file. Sweet. So we can open this because this little pencil here is your edit screen. Hello, Vortex. Cool show this morning on Splatterclat. So this is your edit screen. So if I click on this, it's going to open up our project. So we'll show you a project. This is one of the projects that comes along with the app. So you already heard it there. And let's take a look at the interface just briefly in a predetermined thing. So that there was an oboe, and we've got some violas, we've got some cello, and we've got some basses here. So this is a 4-instrument, a quartet. But you can see here that only this oboe has any music attached to it. But that's easy fixed. You'll notice down the bottom we have a little harmonize button. So if I click this little harmonize button, watch what happens. Boom. It's automatically used the AI to create and take, what it does is it takes a look at the other instruments that you've chosen in here and tries to compensate what those instruments would do compared to the first track here, to play offset notes and to complement instead of just playing the same thing. So let's hear what it's done, shall we? Pretty spiffy stuff for an AI. Pretty clever, yeah? So while we'll have a look at this interface here, and then we'll start making something with it, just so I can give you an idea of what's going on with the interface. So we have an undo and redo. Really handy this is because, again, undo, that's gone. And then we can hit harmonize again and possibly get a different bunch of accompaniments in there from the harmonization, or we can redo it. So, and I'm not sure exactly how many undos or redos there are, but there's a lot because I redid and I undoed a hell of a lot. Undoed? I undoed heaps last night. All right, so here's our like piano roll, I guess, kind of screen. But we also have the sheet music here, which is a nice little addition. If you can read this shit, I can't, so it doesn't help me whatsoever. And you can scroll across and see the whole lot. And you'll notice here, there's even lyrics in there. There's even lyrics. You can add lyrics to these parts. Super, super good. So, especially for the sheet music. And you can print this stuff off. So while we're in the sheet music section, you can go in here and you can export the, you can actually print the score up and you can save the score, which is really nice. I don't want to do that. I want to go here, 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 here. Let's go back to the compose section. So you've got your play and your stop, which takes you, hit stop, it takes you back to the end there. I think a strike comes if you, I won't get a strike for this. I already tested it. So, and here you'll see the name of your project across. Oops, you're not seeing the top. Sorry about that. So here's our back to the start. So back and play. Here's where you would save your print. You can print your score here. But here, let's just click off that. Where the title is of your track, when you click on this, this brings up the composition settings. So you can go in and change any of this. So you've got your file name, what the file's called, the composition title. You can change the composer to your own name if you like. You can create an opus number even. And you can display, so you can decide how many bars for each section that you create. Plus, you've got things like a full score part notation, concert pitch, transposed, precise notation, simplified, scrolling horizontal or vertical, so you can change that as well. This is for your sheet music, the page size, PDF, letter, legal, so you can do all this kind of stuff. It's pretty neat. Here, where you have when you create a piece, it will generate, when you use the AI, it generates movements. So if it's a classical piece, it'll create 3 movements or 4 movements. And if it's a jazz piece, it'll create a 3 movements. So you can flick between the movements in here. Here are your app settings. So these are your overall app settings where you can just create, yeah, I don't know, how fast was Thomas there to get that by? Super fast. You can lock in your name here. So every time you create something, it'll auto-populate your name. You can choose jazz or classical. These are the specific styles of music. Chord names. You can have relative chords, absolute chords. User interface theme, light or dark. So you can change things up. Keep it on dark. It's kind of nice, dark. A master volume. Yeah, so we can change our volume up. You've even got a little bit of reverb in here. Nothing fancy, but a bit of reverb. Yeah. Even the room size. The position of your musicians. You can have the musicians at the front, musicians at the back. Here's where you've got your MIDI enabled, because you can do MIDI out here and send tracks MIDI out. So there's that. Let's jump out of this, and I'm going to run through the, where are we? Let's open up a brand new track, a new composition. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's just do this. No, we're good. We're going to create a brand new track. Boom. And you have two options here when you click on this. Add a new composition or airdrop receive. So they've put in a specific airdrop thing. So if you make something on your iPhone, you can airdrop that straight into here. So within the app, you can airdrop your projects back and forward. But we're going to create a brand new composition. And this is the screen that you are presented with. We'll zoom in a bit. An empty composition, classical 3 movements, classical 4 movements, or a jazz symphony. Yeah. We're just going to go with an empty composition first. You get to name it whatever you would like. So we can go in here and just call it a demo. There's my name. Give it an opus number 1. And now you can choose your parts. So you can see it's automatically populated for us. What have we got? It looks like an oboe, violas, cello, and basses. And on this little button here, this is where you get to choose your piece. So you can start with 3, and you can go all the way up to 23 pieces. And as you change through these numbers, the options change. So you can see on 13, we've got a small orchestra. 12 is a mixed ensemble and a chamber orchestra. 10 is a mixed ensemble. 9 is a mixed ensemble. 8, we've got a sax octet, wind octet, or an 8 cello. 7, we get wind septets. Say that 8 times fast. A sax septet, or a stringed orchestra number 5. So we've got number 6, we've got 5 woodwind quintets, sax quintets, viola, cello, string orchestra 3. Now we're getting into electric pianos, grand pianos, bass, organs, guitar quartets. So there's a lot of instruments already in here. Now these are, you know, there I am. These are simple MIDI stuff, so nothing that's going to, you know, blow your mind. But you can send these out to other things like iSymphonic, which we're going to do, or export the MIDI into something like GarageBand or into Cubasis, whatever you would like to do. So we've got 3 all the way up to 23. Let's just do something simple. We'll keep it on a 4. And what do we do? We'll do a, should we do a string quartet? Yes, we'll do a string quartet. And then you just pick. And here are the instruments you have here. So we've got a violin 2, a viola, and a cello. Now, if you don't like these, you can change them. You've got a little red X here to delete, or you can add. And you see here, it's added another one here on the end. And you'll notice too, in between, there's these little arrows, which you can swap instruments. So you can swap the order of them, which is nice. And we don't need this cello now, so we'll just get rid of this part 5. And now we're back down to 4. You can also click on the instrument, so just touch on the instrument, and you get even further settings. And this is really important because you can decide the highest note and the lowest note. So here you have highest note of this. We'll just jump out of this. Let's go back to our ooh. You can even hear it too. How cool is that? So we'll go back to our first one. I'll click on the first one here, the violin. And you can see here we have a C8 to G3. And you can go in, you can change that in here. So you can go, you've got your plus and minus, and you can decide the range of each instrument. Or you could go into the groups of instruments here and pick something else. And there's a lot of instruments. We've got miscellaneous, has bells and timpanis and vibraphones and all this kind of stuff. There's even choruses and so vocals in here, cellos. Then you've got percussion, choruses, strings, string solo, brass solo, saxophone, woodwind, basses, guitars, organs, pianos. There's a lot of stuff for you to choose from. Also down the bottom here, you've got this apply minimum range of violin. So when you click that, you now have two options. Try best sounding range for violin or restore original part range. So straight away, even before you open up a project, there's a whole lot of stuff here to mess around with. And this is, or you can just like let it do its thing, and the AI would do its thing. So once you've chosen your instruments, you can either just save, and if you hit save, it'll take you straight back to the screen like that. And there's your demo. If you hit save and load, it will save it to this composition screen, but it'll open it up automatically for you as well. So let's open it up and see what it's made. It's made nothing because we didn't let it make anything. We've got a completely blank palette. So there you go. We've shown you how to make a completely blank palette, which we'll come back to. Now we're going to go in and make something that the AI will make. So start a new composition, and this time we'll choose actually, let's do this. Let's open this up because there's something I wanted to show you. And I'm going to let the tutorial run us through. So you've seen how to make something. Let's run the tutorial. Tutorial mode is now on. Let's continue. Add notes to your movement. You must add a fragment to one of the parts. So we create parts and then fragments within the parts. The fragments are little sections that have notes in there. So all I need to do is, you can see this tutorial is really nice. It tells us where to tap. And you can choose any instrument to start with. It's up to you. I'm going to start with the violin. And now we've got 4 buttons. You can record. You can open, you can append a new. Append new means append an AI new track, or append empty, which gives you an empty track to play with. But we're going to hit record. Yeah? Hit record and it takes us to this screen here. And if my keyboard's working, it is. So I have my MIDI controller connected and it's found it. Sweet. And basically it says to us, start recording. Hit start. This is a tutorial. It's okay if it runs for a bit because it's not recording until you play a note, yeah? And hit stop. Once you've done that, all you need to do is hit the little add button, and there's our little piece. And now it tells you straight away you've got this little harmonize down here because you've created a piece, and we've got all these instruments. Hit harmonize, and it's taken a look at the instruments we've provided and tried to do the best it could. So it's realized there's violins here. We don't need anything for this. This is the AI deciding, I think a cello will be good for this first part. Hit continue. Let's just hit play and see what it's done for us. Cool. Each segment consists of fragments, one for each part. One of them was added by you in bright green. There it is. And the others were added by Aimée in a dark green. So you can change the instruments at any time here. You can click on them and again from here, change the instruments, change the range. You can change the output level, the volume. You can change the panning if you like. So you can go in and you can even change the name of it and not call it a cello. Yeah. Let's click off that. Also, here's your undo button. We've kind of covered that. Let's tap the, where are we? Tap the button here so to get it and close our project. So that's the end of the tutorial here. So we can now go in and do a whole lot more if we want to. We can start from this point here, and all I need to do is tap, and we can hit record new. I'm just making it up. And once again, hit add, and it will continue our orchestra. Now, what you'll see here now is this little blob here in the button. This allows you to glue things together. You can glue segments together like so, boom, and now our segments are pieced together, and this creates a full piece. Now you'll notice with the time bar, there's a pair of scissors wherever I move this. So you can actually chop this up too by clicking on the scissors. You can chop these things up. What you need to remember is once you add more music to this, you'll need to harmonize it again to update what's going on. A few bad notes in there, but that's all good. It'll be fine. All right, let's touch on editing, because you can edit these as well. Once you've created something, you just need to click here, and then you get this secondary menu come up, which allows you to move things. If we hit our plus, you can move your timeline to the end to start something new. All right, nice and easy to do that. You can delete this by hitting the X. You can lock it in place. So now all these are locked, and you can't delete them by accident or anything like that. You can't move them or anything like that. So that's cool. You have settings in here. So you can now go in here and really get dirty. You can change the key. We can go in and change the key of this. We can change it from chromatic to diatonic. We can change the timing to something ludicrous like 8/2/8/4. Let's go 8/4. You've got quantization. So you've got, what are we? I think it's 8th, 16. Oh, no, it's the other way. 4, 16, 30. Yeah. So something like that. I think, I can't remember now. So you can see it shortens as we go and gets longer. So now when I play this. We can also go in and change the tempo anytime we want, and we can change the swing level. So you can see there's a little bit of swing on this as well. We can remove all that swing. Just remembering whenever, yeah, so half, quarter, eighth. There you go, thanks. You can go in here and change the instrumentation. I'm probably not going to cover too much of that today. You got to remember when you make these kind of changes, best to harmonize again. And because, you know, we've changed to, what was it, 8/4? So there's a lot of power here to do some pretty incredible things. Plus, not only do we have all that, you can go in here to the piano roll, and you have absolute control over all of this. All of this. You can remove notes. Now, this stuff gets really deep. Some of it I'm going to gloss over because I don't want all of your brains to explode like mine did last night. But here we have a transpose section. So you can loop playback. You can play back only parts. You can move up. So very easily, you can take the whole composition. You can pinch to zoom in and out. Oops, let's go back up. So you can move between your instruments as well with these arrows. So you can see what's going on with each instrument, what parts are there. And you can, when you're in, and these are your edit and add notes buttons down here. So when you're in edit, you can zoom in and hold down on notes and stretch them, move them around. Okay, but when you're on add notes, when you move this down here to add notes, anywhere you touch will add a note. And if you've made a mistake, you can undo very easily, because undo is your friend. But yeah, it's best to keep an eye on what you've got going on if you're on edit or add notes, or you'll just be touching it and adding heaps of notes. But you can move things around to your, you can write your own things. You can hold your finger on the keys. See here, I'll zoom in a little bit. I'll zoom out. So here you can see I can play on these notes. Here's where it gets a little bit full on, and I'm not going to go too much into this, but down here, this is our instrumentation. So you can decide what each of these instruments have. So a secondary melody, we can go in here and turn on a secondary melody for or an upper melody. We can go in here and have a secondary melody again, a lower melody. We can put an upper melody here. You can add new parts, add new melodies. Right? So you can go in and define what each instrument is playing. So this violin's the main melody, violin 2 is a secondary melody, and now we've got a lower and an upper. So we can put this upper here. You can move these around. Plus, we'll hit done there. And again, I'm going to want to hit the quantize thing to harmonize, to change these changes. So down here is, these are our melodies. So you can use this competition, so you can actually decide your melodies along this line here. And this second one is, you can decide where your harmonization comes in and what type of harmonization it is. And that's in this lower bar down the bottom here. So you can see you've got harmonization or parallel to part. So you can use this composition instruction to double the selected source, harmonization, and then you can decide within here if you want automatic or classical harmonization, harmonization alternatives. You can choose a key. You can decide where you want the harmonization, like within every bar, within every beat, or smart harmonization. Never, always. So there's a whole bunch of customization. It is absolutely ludicrous. But again, once you do this, hit your harmonize button and let it do its thing. And now we've lost all our parts. Isn't that cool? Let's go in and see if I can fix that. It's probably because I did this, because I changed all this. We'll go here, secondary, we'll go there. I don't know what I'm doing, I'll be honest. Restore to initial state. And we'll jump out of this. And there you go. So you've got an overall view of how to make stuff. Let's go in and have a look at seeing the AI just make something really large. Yeah. So we'll start a new composition. And we'll choose a jazz symphony and hit next. So you've seen this screen before. We'll call this Jazz Symphony Demo by me. Hit start. We'll choose our instruments. We'll choose something a little bit more complex. What do we do? Like an 8? Let's go 13, because that's really lucky. A small orchestra. A small orchestra. Hey, Zach, what's going on? If I've missed any of you who've come in during the show. So we'll pick this, and you'll see it's generated for us. Flutes, oboes, clarinets, bassoons, soprano sax, alto sax, tenor sax, baritone sax, timpani, violins. So we've got a whole lot of stuff here. And now all we got to do is hit next, and we choose a key. What should we choose? An E flat, because that's annoying. You can choose random, diatonic, cinematic, chromatic. It's all up to you. Let's go diatonic and just hit create symphony. And this is where it actually creates movements. So because we've chosen jazz, it's going to create 3 movements for us. And once these movements are created, you can hit play and listen to them. Or you can redo it if you don't like them. So if we hit play, cool, we'll keep these. And again, you can either save it, which will save it back to the main screen, or just hit save and load. It saves it and then opens it up. And now you notice we've got all these instruments down the side here to play around with. And it's gone ahead and look at all this loveliness it has created for us. It's already added all the harmonies. So we're all good to go. The sheet music's all here, if you can read that. Let's have a listen. It's sick. So as I said, you get 3 movements with this, and the movements can be found up the top here, and we can choose you've got a movement manager. So this takes you back to the movements that have been made. You can edit, copy them here, sample them. You can move the movements around. So you can flip them. So 2 becomes 1, 1 becomes 2. We'll cancel that. Or you can just choose the next movement from here. There's no in-app purchases, Jim. No in-app purchases. $7. We'll go over to our third movement, and then I'll show you what you can do with external instruments and get rid of the MIDI. Because the MIDI kind of can put you off. It's not the best MIDI. And remember, you can edit all this too. You don't have to like suck all this in and go, oh, I'm happy with that. You can again click on here. You can go in and edit all these parts if you like. Completely up to you. Change the key. You can go in and click on this and change the time signature for each. So if you change the time signature in this first part, all the rest would still be in 4/4. So we could go in here and go 3/4 for this one. And click off here and then hit harmonize. And now this first part is all in 3/4, but all these are in 4/4. And you can see that via the sheet music. It should say somewhere it's in 3/4. So we're in 3/4 now. And if you don't like that, you can just hit undo and it'll go back to how it was. We'll go back one more. Change the, so there we go. We changed these. The 3/4 should be back to 4/4 now. Yep, there we go. So you can always undo stuff. But let's have a look at it in using something else. So basically you can send, because each track here, let's just show you. So when you click on each instrument here, you can see it says down the bottom, am I in the right place? MIDI out 1, right? So this instrument would be going to MIDI 1. So if you've got something like iSymphonic, what we're going to open now, this would be going to MIDI channel 1. This one is going to MIDI channel 1. So let's go and change these. In fact, what we'll do is, with each one, I'll show you how to do this. So you go into each instrument up here, change it. We've got MIDI 1, and then you turn down the output volume because we don't want to hear these. So let's go through it and do it with these. And we want MIDI channel 2. Then we'll go, and you can see as I'm turning down the volume, this is changing to a little MIDI icon. These instruments are disappearing. So let's do number 3. Turn down the volume. And we want MIDI channel 3 here. Next one. So it's a little bit time consuming, but we've got some time before Night Train's premiere. What are we on? Is this number 4? Yeah. So MIDI channel 4. Turn down the volume. MIDI channel 5. I probably should have done a smaller project, shouldn't I? And as you can see here, you can change the panning. So MIDI channel 6. Yep, 7. You'll notice a big difference when I move to something like iSymphonic with better sounding MIDI. And I'm not really gonna go painstakingly into iSymphonic and match every instrument because you just don't have all the time to do that. But you'll see what I mean. So we've got timpani here. Let's pull that down. What are we up to? Number 9. Volume down. And some of these will actually already have the MIDI outs organized into MIDI channels. So you can organize that. What are we up to? Number 10. So we've got, what, 3 more? Well, I had to do 13, didn't I, to be difficult. 11. Volume down. What are you, 12? And the last one, boom, is 13. So now when I play this back, take this to the start, we've got no sound. There's no sound coming through. So now we need to open up another app and make sure your settings have got this running in the app settings. So you've got it running in the background and MIDI is enabled. Yeah. Because we want to make sure that's happening. So let's jump out of here and open up iSymphonic, which is a stellar app and perfect for this. Now, luckily, in iSymphonic, I already have a whole bunch of things saved in parts. So basically, the way iSymphonic works is, here are your MIDI channels, and each part you can assign to a different MIDI channel. So see, this is a Baroque orchestra. And you'll see when I go, and that's set to MIDI channel 2. If I go to part 3, classical orchestra to MIDI channel 3. This is orchestra strings and legato going to MIDI channel 4. So this is already something that is being sent out to a whole bunch of MIDI channels, yeah? So this should hopefully work. Fingers crossed. And it's not. Of course it's not. Oh man, the volume's up for all of them. What am I doing wrong? Let's try. Hang on. There's something up here. It's not loading because let's just make sure there's nothing that's in the background that's fucking with it. Yeah, that's what it would be. We've got things fucking with it in the background. We'll reopen it up. Hopefully it works this time. There we go. So we've got sounds now. So now when we go back over here, because I have all those already programmed and ready to go, if we hit play, what the fuck? Oh, I think I've got to actually choose it. Let's make sure. Symphonic, MIDI enabled, 3 destinations. No, we're good here. Is it because I'm plugged in? No. Dude, that's not right. Let's just save this. Let's do a complete shutdown and see if we can get it happening. Man, this works perfect on my other iPad. What's going on? What was it? What was it called? It was this one, wasn't it? Have I chosen an iSymphonic? I didn't think I needed to because let's check. Core audio set because it uses core audio. And we've got the devices chosen, all devices. Everything's set. There we go. Let's go back to movement number 2. Now that's better. Hello, Meerkat. So you can hear straight away by using really high quality instruments, it sounds way better, way better. And I have a lot of presets I've made here in iSymphonic. So these are all the things I've made over the years. So I have like full orchestras. What have we got? Like new orchestra demo. Let's choose one of these. I just don't know if all the MIDI parts are set to the right channels though. Let's check. No, so they're all going to MIDI 1. Let's go 3 to 3, 4 to 4. So this is a piano and pad. 5 to 5. So there's a solo violin. 6 to 6. 7 to MIDI 7, 8 to MIDI 8. We've got a glockenspiel in here even. 9 to MIDI 9. We'll see if we can get 13 of them. 10 to 10. 11. Tremolo strings to 11. 12 to MIDI channel 12. And 13. Trombone section to 12. So now when we go in here, a whole lot of different sounds, and it's the same piece. Let's try the movement 1 that we were given. Pretty incredible for AI. You know what I'm saying? BPM, says Leela. Composition settings. There's our bars, BPM can be found here. Edit, tempo, BPM. There you go, BPM. Now this is in 6/8, so and this is, you can change it at any time too. So we're in jazz at the moment. If I change this to classical, you'll notice down the bottom little harmonize buttons come up here, and now it's reharmonizing everything. But wait, there's a whole lot more too. So if you want to export this stuff, here's where it gets really juicy. We've got our little export button up here. You can export audio. You can send via email your audio. You can export your YouCompose file. So anything that you've made, it creates a YouCompose file. And you can email this to someone else and they can open it up and mess with it even more. You've got your AirDrop send. So you can send this file over to one of your other devices. And yes, amazingly enough, this is for iPhone as well. God forbid how you're going to use this on a fucking iPhone. It's so small. But then iPhones get bigger and bigger each year, so that's a thing. If we hit export audio, look at all these options they give you. It's nuts. You can use audio copy, so you can copy it and then paste it in somewhere with audio copy. Or you can export files. You can export the file as a MIDI, ACC, M4A, AIF, CAF, WAV file. You can export a single part if you want. A single part, you can go in and do that. You can choose the intro, whichever section you want to choose of the song or all segments. You also can decide if you want to keep the swing that you've added in here as well. So you can add, if you've added swing in here, you can choose one track. So this is how you would do a one track. So if I choose one track, it would put all the parts into one MIDI track, which is a MIDI file type 0. Or I can do a multi-track out with MIDI. So let's do that. Let's hit export of this. And we can save this just straight to audio share. And look, there it is in audio share. Utterly annoying as fuck. But it looks like one file. It looks like one file, but it's not. Let me show you what I mean. Let's jump over to our audio share in the Files app. And here it is, Jazz Symphony. So I'm going to drag this over to my iPad into the GarageBand. If it lets me. It's not man. Can I just say once again how shitty iOS 16 is? And the Files app. There's so many issues with the Files app. I'm going to drop that into the GarageBand folder and now put this into the file transfer. So you can do this with Cubasis, Aurea Pro, anything that allows you to open MIDI files. So now I've put that in the GarageBand folder. So now if I open up a new GarageBand project and we just choose a microphone, just a clean microphone to kick off the track. We won't turn on monitoring. What was that called? Was it Jazz? There it is. We can grab this, drag it in, and and it crashes completely. Oh man. Don't ever lie. Why the fuck would that be crashing? Can I just tell you what I think of iOS 16? Just let me tell you about iOS 16 on iPad. It's fucked. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not that it's an M2, Jim. It's because iOS 16 is dog shit. It is dog shit. And here's the deal. Normally, you guys know, if you've been a follower of the channel for ages, I never update to iOS 16 until January 5th every year, January 5th, January 5th, January 5th. But because I purchased a brand new iPad this year, I'm stuck with this piece of shit. And it's awful. There's so many problems with it. There is so many problems. All right, let's see if I can open one that I made earlier. Here we go. I think this is, no, that's not it. Have I got one that I've already made? Let's see. Should I try it again? Man. It crushes my soul, honestly. It really crushes my soul. See how we go. It's going to crush again, yeah. I don't know what to say. Let's try and create something else. Let's do a... let's open one. Oh, I've got one that I've... Jazz Symphony 1. Have I done another one on here? What's this one? Let's listen to this one. Hey, Jeff. All right, we'll export this. See how we go. iOS 16, dog shit. Okay, let's see how this one goes. Jazz Symphony 1. Man, I'm so done with iOS 16. I can't even. Select. Let's move this the old-fashioned way. On my iPad. Copy. Okay. There we go. If you're considering updating to iOS 16, don't do it, man. Just don't do it. Just hold off. Trust me. Save yourself the headache. It's really painful. And look what it's done. It has imported all of this into individual tracks. And it's tried to create with the GarageBand instruments the best it could to what was in. So it's chosen an oboe and a flute, a clarinet, brass ensemble, taiko drums, and strings. So we've got the strings. But what you can do, remember this, you could open up here in GarageBand, you could open up multiple instances of iSymphonic and just drag these into different, so you don't have to use the GarageBand thingies. Now, what you will see here is this blank track at the top. And what this blank track is, this holds all of the data for the swing, so all of the important data for velocities and stuff like that. So don't delete this. Keep this there. It does, even though there's nothing there, it actually holds information that is important for this. And if we play it, and I'll have to turn it down because it'll be a little bit loud. But you can see if I create a new track now, just as an example, and go to our audio units and find iSymphonic here, I'll show you what I mean by not having to use the GarageBand instruments. iSymphonic, so we'll open up a brand new track, and we can take these violas, drag them down into iSymphonic, and so instantly you're going to get much better sounds. Instead of using the GarageBand stuff, use the Swarm instruments, because you've got an entire suite with Swarm. And once again, once all these are here in GarageBand, you can go in and edit them to your heart's content. So you can go in and edit these down to whatever you like. So there's definitely a lot of things you can do with this app. So, you know, generating these amazing pieces. They don't have to be complex either. You know what I'm saying? Apart from our little kerfuffle with iOS 16. You get what I'm doing. Let's jump out of here again because there's a couple of more things I wanted to show you in this. Let's jump out to our page here. We'll create a jazz one as well. What do we got? 15 minutes till we've got a premiere. Hit the plus, new composition, and we'll do a classical. What did we do last time? Did we do jazz or? I will do a classical. Classical 4 movements. New symphony bum, we'll call it. Doesn't matter what we call it. Let's choose something smaller, like some guitars. Let's do some guitars. I think so you've got pianos. You can do electric pianos, grand piano and bass, a guitar quartet. We'll pick the guitar quartet, shall we? And we'll do this in B flat minor. Chromatic. It's going to create our symphony. Boom. And look at that. So it created 4 movements, save and load. And here's our guitar parts. There's even harmonics in there. And we've got a bass. I didn't even realize there's a bass. Let's try movement 2. It's a bit boring. The luck of the draw. Oh, also too, let me remind you of this part. So you'll see here with this little bar, you can pull this out, and this allows you to move your instruments up and down. So you can decide, I want to move these up and down. Plus you can add another instrument in here at any time you want and delete that if you want. So from here we could add in another guitar, or we could add, say, a piano from here. Hit a grand piano. And now we can harmonize and hopefully add some piano in there. And it didn't add anything. There you go. Maybe we'll try adding, what can we add? We'll add, what have we got? Classical guitar, guitar harmonics, an electric guitar. Do we have electric guitar in here? Let's add distorted guitar. Again, I really know how to work this thing, don't I? I'm such an expert. All right, cool. This sounds better. So I'm going to export this, and hopefully this will work. We'll export the MIDI again. What is it, 3 minutes? A metal symphony, yeah. Into our Files app. Let's select and move to GarageBand. Done. We'll start a new project with GarageBand because the GarageBand acoustics are kind of sort of all right. You know, they're okay. It'll make them sound better than what we were just listening to anyway. I'm guessing that was called classical. Oh, I don't even know what I didn't even pay attention. New symphony bum. That's it. New symphony bum. Let's just put bum in. There we go. New symphony bum. We'll drag this in, maybe. There we go. Patience. Yeah, look. I'm going to go back and try number 1. I'll tell you what, let me be honest. This didn't happen once on my other iPad. It's not GarageBand that hates me. This didn't happen once on my iPad Pro, on my old iPad Pro, which has iOS 15.7.1 on it. Not once. This is all iOS 16. Trust me, it's all iOS 16. It's dog shit. It just can't handle crap. It really is iOS 16. It's beyond. I can't even. You know, every year, guys, I tell you all on this channel, do not upgrade, do not upgrade, do not upgrade. And here I am showing you why. Showing you why. Please do not upgrade. It is heartbreaking, the pain you go through by upgrading. Let's see if this one works. No. Well, there you go. I've had enough for the day. We can try, maybe if we, what else can we open up in? We could open up in Cubasis, I guess. Can I do that? Yeah, don't upgrade. Trust me, just don't upgrade. Don't do it. It's really bad. It's bad news. Import from audio share. Now it should have put in. See, I'm not an expert. Here it is. So if I drag this in, it should just work here. Why? There we go. Am I doing something wrong? Do I have to add a MIDI channel first? Maybe I do. You know what? I'm too tired for this. I'm done. It should be in MIDI. My MIDI files. Is it in here? Man, I just want to go to sleep. Did it go in here, or do I have to import it in somewhere else? I have to import it in here, don't I? That's what I did wrong. I have to import it in here. This one. Should be in here now. Whatever it's called. What do I call it? Oh, there it is. There we go. Obviously, you're going to have to change your instruments. But you can see the value in it. If GarageBand was working, I don't know. Like, you know what, Jim? I really like Stage Manager. I think what people's bitching about Stage Manager is they're wrong. They're wrong. Stage Manager is really wicked. I'm not using it today. But you can see there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with this app. I mean, just to make music, again, just to make something really simple with it is very attainable. To create a brand new project and just start. Let's do one more empty thing. We've got some guitars here. Let's do predefined. Let's do a sax quartet maybe. Got a sax quintet. Pick. And we'll start with the clarinet. Hit record. Oh, I wanted to show you this lastly before we go. When you're in the record screen, you can change a lot of stuff in here too. So just by clicking on any of these boxes, you can change the instrument. You can change the key it's in, the time signature, all of this stuff. You can change your recording tempo. So you can do all that. You can use a fixed velocity on your keys. Now we've got stuff running in the background. That's why we're picking up sound. So if I hit record, Hit add. I think it's neat. I just think it's wonderful. And I've been playing with this on my bed, just messing around, doing so much stuff. I've got so many projects on my other iPad because guess what? It doesn't have iOS 16. So it's good stuff. Anyway, it's only, what was it, $6? $6.99. It's pretty cheap. Where is it? There it is. $6.99. So yeah, if you want to grab it, go grab it. Have a play around. Make something interesting. I'm thinking about maybe not next week, but the week after. I'm going to try and put together something and put it into GarageBand if GarageBand works, and try and make a song and release it with YouCompose and see what I can do. Make something really out of this world with lots of weird timing changes. Make something totally stupid and release it on DistroKid. Why not? Something fun to do. All right, guys, that is the end for today. Remember, tomorrow we have a fantastic show coming up. We have an interview with the one, the man, the legend, not the myth. I've clicked the wrong thing. With Jonathan Bell from Riffler. He's coming on to tell us how he made this app, what's going on with it. So, yeah. It's going to be a really interesting interview. He's going to live on the show, have a whole bunch of things that he's made with Riffler, tell you how he got into developing all this stuff. It's going to be a really, really fascinating show. It is sponsored by DistroKid, so make sure you come along. And if you're into Riffler, you're going to want to watch this. It's going to be really interesting. Plus, we have on the weekend, Cy Effen, moderator of the channel. He's playing live here on the channel, sponsored by DistroKid again for the opening hour, so you won't want to miss that. But what's coming up next, right now in about 2 minutes' time, is, and I will dump you over there, so be ready to be dumped. If you don't have auto play on your YouTube, a little box will come up offering you to come over. Please come over. Night Train is releasing the radio edit of the song that I sung for him on his album, This Is Who I Am. It's really cool. He's slashed like 3 minutes off the song, re-edited the video, and the start of it is so cool. He's done a really great job. Thank you all for being here today. Sorry about all the issues with GarageBand. I don't know what to say. Thomas Christ will be up after the premiere in about half an hour's time doing You Rock. So make sure you get over there and watch that because he's always playing your fantastic music. Yeah, boy. Alrighty. Remember, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better, and we will all rise together. And I'll see you over at Le Premiere. Goodbye now.